Google and Lockheed Martin and Meta and all these other companies that have funded Trump's attack on the White House and the rest of their executives. So we should be changing that in YouTube into regular YouTube for me and you, like the way it should be, should have always been, maybe used to be, the way TikTok used to be before Trump talk, before Trump captured it, made it Trump talk. We need to rescue TikTok too. But anyway, welcome TikTok refugees if you're seeing this from TikTok in the future. The shutdown's over. So we're going to do a quick response to the shutdown being over. Basically, be careful how you talk about it because you end up coming across, if you're really cheering on the shutdown and wanting to get something out of the Republicans, you really come across like you care more about that than people eating. Yeah, it was the Republicans who were holding our food stamp benefits hostage. They could have easily just paid them and they decided to hold them hostage. So they own that. That's their side. Their side is the starved people side. Their side is the, don't let people eat side. And we've at least pinned that on them with Trump insisting that he had the right to starve us, and then the Supreme Court siding with him, giving him the right to starve us. Like at least we've been able to pin that on them, and that's important. Hi Lily, welcome to the live. So we did get something out of the shutdown. We showed everybody that Trump wants to starve us, that Trump is willing to starve us to keep us from giving other people health care. But a lot of people didn't have health care anyway. It's not like everybody's getting health care now. And if everybody's health care prices get jacked up by the government being back on, yes, I remember you, Lily. Are you enjoying the snow? Thanks for being here. Uh, if everybody's prices are getting jacked up by the government being back on, by the healthcare industry skyrocketing everybody's prices, well, they're not going to be able to pay them. So as long as we make a coordinated not paying them, what you call a boycott, as long as we stop paying the health insurance, and especially if we have a candidate like Jasmine Crockett or AOC who says to the world, hey, my campaign is universal health care, so you can stop paying your insurance now. We're going to let that industry go away since the Republicans refuse to subsidize it. That's pretty much the bargain we got, and we can be grateful and glad that the government's back on, for one, because people get their food stamps. We can be grateful and glad that the government's back on, and the prices are going to skyrocket because it gives us the mechanism for ending insurance, private insurance, and for-profit insurance, and gives us universal socialized healthcare instead. So we win that way. We just need to outmaneuver them, and we can, especially with a good candidate. Okay, what did you say, Lily? When I go outside in the snow, my hands are freezing. You should get mittens. Do you not usually have snow there? If you have mittens, so that's the whole thing. Like Bernie Sanders has mittens, right? We have a plan. We have universal health care is the plan to replace the insurance industry. Now that they're going to make the insurance industry basically collapse or collapse for all poor people. I don't think they really understand what they're doing. I think the Trump side is just a bunch of idiots, or the people who do understand what they're doing on the Trump side are like Putin and the KGB, who's like telling them what to do, and their goals are to destroy our country. So they're succeeding in destroying our country, kind of whether or not they know they are. I mean, they know they knocked down half the White House. Like, that's obvious. We all know they knocked down half the White House. You have gloves though. Cool. You remember your gloves for when you go outside. If it doesn't fit, you must have quit. So what happens right now is the insurance system doesn't fit, so we must quit. It doesn't fit. We must quit. So let's quit the insurance industry. Let's have universal health care instead. We just need a politician like Jasmine Crockett or AOC or any influencer to put this idea out there, and we win. We get universal health care. So they fell into a trap by shutting the government down and threatening to starve us. All right, let's read their comments. Tomorrow, I don't get snow. Well, you got some now, and that was what makes it special, right? Is sometimes you get it and sometimes you don't. But say hi to the snow fairies for me. Oh, Busy Slim the doctor says, KGB ain't here. This is America. This was America. Trump is Krasnov. Trump is Russian. Okay, Trump's a Russian agent. All of our KGB is now either Russian agents. I mean, they're not literally Russian agents, but they've been taken over by all of our FBI is now the KGB. They're just Timu KGB. They're like a wannabe pretend KGB. Not all of them. There's apparently some who are going to blow the whistle or turn in the rest, but there's maybe not enough of them. Apparently, most of them are following Kash Patel's thing, making him into the Timu KGB. Why does Gruff Eat 82 say eat the egg? What does that mean? Well, get snow when you can. Enjoy it when you do. So, We need to arrest these FBI agents. We need to arrest these Team KGB agents. We need to arrest these ICE agents. We need to arrest these Trump-ootneers at every level of government. What does eat the egg mean? Gruff Est 82. Gruff Est 82 joined 19 years ago. It has 19 subscribers. That's pleasantly symmetrical. You joined 19 years ago, had 19 subscribers. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to get socialized healthcare out of this. The premiums are going to skyrocket, but that's just a number if nobody pays the bill. So everybody in a coordinated effort can stop paying insurance. I'm not trying to reach the world saying this. I'm trying to say you can get this idea out there and tell Jasmine Crockett or AOC campaigns on it, and then we win. Then we get socialized healthcare from concepts of a plan. You can even be the one who gets famous for putting the idea out there, because my channel is heavily suppressed. So they're not going to hear it from me, but they might hear it from you. So put the idea out there, and we can take over this country with socialism. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the hearts. Thanks for the reactions. Looks like we got an American in the chat. So we got some type of superhuman in the chat who understands what's going on. So if people are whining about the shutdown, be careful about that. Speak carefully when you talk about the end of the shutdown, because it comes across like you don't use food stamps. It comes across like you don't know or care about anybody who uses food stamps. So don't come across that way, because people are getting their food stamps now, even though it was Trump who held them hostage. Trump and the Supreme Court made it very clear that they're the ones who wanted to starve us. So at least we got that out of it. It's like if you'd waterboarded him, like the old joke. If you waterboard Trump, what sound does he make? Putin, 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 Putin. So it's like, but you don't have to waterboard him. You got him to admit what their game is. You got them to show their hand that they're willing to starve us to keep us from having health insurance. So outmaneuver them. Take health insurance for everyone. Take insurance away from everyone, but take health care for everyone by having universal health care. Who do you think pays for your health bills in universal health care? Who do you think pays the insurance companies? Nobody, because there aren't any insurance companies. So it's in the insurance companies, since they won't subsidize them. Biff, bam, boom, easy peasy. Universal health care. Hola, Lily. What does Busy Slim say? This is interesting. Two Chinese air fryer manufacturers built in spy hardware and sold many in UK. That's interesting. I was talking about how your brand of microwave might determine what political party you're on in America. MP is back. I can't say I'm pleased. Damn, you still on this stuff? Take a break, man. I saw your live like 5 hours ago. Yeah, you can leave. You don't have to. No, you never contributed anything to the live 5 hours ago, so it'd be better if you're not here. Thanks. Enjoy your snow, Lily. Have fun. Have fun playing in the snow. So anyway, we're gonna get Jasmine Crockett and AOC to run for president out of this. We're gonna get them to say, hey, universal health care, you don't have to pay your premiums anymore. Universal health care. Who cares what number they put on it? Universal health care. And the people who are whining about their premiums right now, instead of caring about people's food stamps, need to just kind of take a step back and think about it and say, look, you look like you're whining about people getting their food stamps. Don't do that. We all know that Trump was willing to starve people. He showed he was willing to starve people. We don't have to let him starve people. We can stop him from starving people. We tested our, supplemental food chain systems. They didn't hold up too well. Like, we're in a bad position if Trump decides to starve us again. But now that we know that's what he's trying to do, we should have more momentum and, coordination to stop him. So we should be planning on stopping Trump, and we should be planning on having universal health care. When we have universal health care, it doesn't matter what the premiums were in 2025, because that's the past. That doesn't affect anything. We have universal health care, say in 2026, it doesn't matter what they ask people to pay, especially people who are smart enough to say, I'm not paying it. But especially if we have someone smart enough to campaign on telling people, don't pay it. Let's cancel the insurance industry because they wouldn't subsidize it, and let's let it fail into socialized healthcare. That's what they threatened us with a good time about when we made Obamacare. They're like, this is designed to fail into socialized healthcare, but it never failed into it. Well, now that they're cutting the subsidies, yeah, it can fail. So let it fail. Let the insurance industry fail and get universal healthcare out of it. Anyway, I've gone for about 10 minutes. I usually do lives for about an hour. But I don't really want to spend that much time talking about it unless there's good people showing up here. And Net and YouTube never picks any good people for my, or rarely picks any good people for my live. It's only certain people that are now regular audience. So thank you if you guys see this in the future. But let's use the YouTube question. A good name for a boat. Let's do it. Let's do a good name for a boat. The SS Trumpoutineer in America, because we got a bunch of Trumpoutineers mutinying on the good ship America. Anyway, it's time to end Trumpism, right? So we're going to end Trumpism. We're going to stop all the Trumpoutineers. And we're going to have, part of that's going to be we have universal health care. Welcome back, Lily. Part of that's going to be that we have universal health care. And by having universal health care, we, by default, like the definition of universal health care is we cancel the insurance industry. So it doesn't matter what the premiums are. And it was great that the Democrats shut down the government long enough for Trump to show his hand that he wants to starve us, that Trump and the Supreme Court want to starve us. It's great that we did that, but they don't have to actually starve us. Like, we have the record. Trump sued in order to keep starving us. The Supreme Court agreed with Trump to let us starve. That's it. That's all we should need. Just like we shouldn't have needed any more than Trump knocking down the White House. You'd think that finishing Osama bin Laden's plan from 24 years ago would be enough to get some people to wake up and stop doing the Trump thing. Get off the damn Trump train. We'll see. We'll see. So anyway, just be careful about your response to this shutdown. Be careful how you speak in your response to the shutdown ending, because you don't want to give "I'm too rich to use food stamps." You don't want to give "I'm so rich I even have health insurance and I'm worried about my premiums." Not in this economy. Not in this climate. Not in this country. We're talking about America now. America likes to get down when it comes down to it. Here's Gregory Nichols. Yeah, plenty of people are starving, Gregory Nichols. You don't care because you're a Trumpoutineer. Okay? Christian E. says, hey. Hi, Christian. Nice to meet you. Let me go over the topics again. Talking about the shutdown. You don't want to complain about ending the shutdown because it comes across like you want to starve people like Trump. Don't do that. We're glad that people are not going to starve. We're glad that people are getting their food stamps back. We could actually give a fuck about your healthcare premiums because let them jack the numbers up. Stop paying any of them. Let's have universal health care. People act like when we talk about universal health care, oh, we're just pie in the sky. It's not pie in the sky. It's going to happen like next year because we're collapsing the insurance market faster or slower. Like, yeah, we can wait a while. We can let the insurance companies suck all this money out of you first, or we can say, let's cancel it right goddamn now. No more insurance. You better come up with some universal health care, PDQ, because we're going to still be going to the doctors, we're going to still be going to the hospitals, and we're going to forward our bill to the White House. And that's the way Jasmine Crockett or AOC should approach it to become president. Just make that campaign promise, forward your bills to the White House. Christian E agrees. Like, it makes perfect sense. Send your bills to the White House and send me to the White House and I'll take care of them. Universal health care. Just make it happen. Concepts of a plan, become universal health care. They fuck themselves. You make everything that they do backfire on them. So when they send all these terrorist cells to kidnap people, what you do is you say, what we're going to do is give every single person whose door you knocked on citizenship. Every person whose name you put on a list, we're giving them citizenship. If you kidnapped them, we're giving them like $1 million. If you killed their family member, we're going to take one of your ICE family members and give them. Like, tell people what the fuck's going to happen once we catch these motherfuckers so that they stop goddamn doing what they're doing. Welcome back, Lily. You came at a good time. I'm going to make a highlight of that. Oh, no, I got to wait a minute. So, automatic citizenship for everyone ICE contacts. Life in prison for ICE and all their enablers. Life in prison. And stop paying health insurance. Let's go ahead and have universal health care. Why would you pay health insurance when you're going to have universal health care next year? It's kind of like, would you pay for a service that's going to become free next year? Just make it free now and we're good. Christian E says, no reason at this point we don't have healthcare. Exactly. I'm more Republican, but I see what we spend money on or instead. So yeah, we spend money on the insurance industry. We spend money on Flo and Progressive and Jake from State Farm and incessant commercials, which those people can go make commercials for industries that actually matter. They can make commercials for, like I said earlier, the grocery store industry or something. You can still have these great people making great commercials, But it doesn't need to be for the damn insurance industry. And you can still have people making terrible commercials, but it doesn't have to be for the fucking pharmaceutical industry. We don't need any people making those terrible pharmaceutical style commercials anymore. Gregory Nichols. Can't see, can't count. Got 2 likes, motherfucker. That's a lot more than you got. What's Gregory Nichols got on his channel that he's trying to rub in my face? Oh, he joined 8 years ago and has 4 subscribers. So yeah, he's got a reason to talk to me. Check my channel before you speak. I think the whole title of this is Speak Carefully. Don't come across like you care more about your premiums than other people's pantries. Don't come across like you're mad about the end of the shutdown because it makes you look like you don't know anybody on food stamps or that you're too rich for food stamps. That's not a good look right now. Ignorant with a really cool hat. I mean, I appreciate your respect for the hat. But no, this is just your cognitive dissonance just makes you reject the things I'm saying. How about this? Jesus is the anti-king leader of no kings. You follow the antichrist Trump. But we can shift you from the antichrist Trump who's pure evil to Jesus who's pure love and goodness. How does that sound to you? Dimitri says Trump is king. Trump is king of kings, like your fake Jesus, Antichrist, is king of kings. But the real Jesus is the anti-king, leader of no kings. The real Jesus will win. We will win with the real Jesus and defeat your Antichrist Trump and defeat all the Trump boutonniere minions of the Antichrist Trump. But even better, we can transfer you from the Antichrist Trump to Jesus. You're welcome. You're welcome. What can I say except you're welcome? You're welcome. All right. Trump is king, peace, warrior of the world. No, Trump's the Antichrist. The only good thing about Trump is that the opposite of every single thing he says, thinks, and does is Jesus. So once we get you reversed, you'll become a good human. You'll become a good person. Demetrius says, Amen. You're welcome. What can I say except you're welcome? You're welcome. You'll find highlights of all this type of content on my channel so you can share it with, say, Jasmine Crockett so she can win the presidency with it. If Jasmine Crockett came out today and said, I'm running for president, stop paying your health care, stop paying your insurance bills, send your medical bills to the White House, I'm going to pay them, they would move the election up to get her into the office. Watch it. Careful who you're messing with, Trump boutonnieres. Carissa's here. Hi, Carissa. Nice to see you. Demetrius says, Amen. Demetrius says, the real Jesus is true. Nope, that's the Antichrist. Trump's the Antichrist. But since one of the signs of the Antichrist is that he'll trick people into thinking he's Jesus, you just kind of proved it. The real Jesus is real and destroys Trump. And I can prove that with, I don't know, ask me. Ask me to. I'd love to show you how Jesus destroys Trump. Christian E says, I agree 100%. The rich are pompous and gloat for no reason, while people in America literally are living in their parents' and grandparents' homes, barely able to pay bills. Also, Moana is awesome. What can I say except you're welcome? You're welcome. And thank you, Christian E. Your testimony means a lot. Can I pin that comment so we don't have to see any other chats? Great. Hey, Demetrius, what's up? Krista says. Hey, Krista. Hey, Warren Graham. Nice to see you again, Warren Graham. Thank y'all for being here. Gregory Nichols says, Christ, boy, why you worried? I don't know what you're talking about. Demetrius says, hey, Carissa, how can she pay? I don't know what that means. How can she pay? Oh, how can AOC pay everybody's healthcare bills? That's simple enough. She'll be the president. You can't stop her. She'll be the president. She'll pay your healthcare bills whether you like it or not. She'll pay your healthcare bills. She'll come to your house and pay your healthcare bills. You guys are such idiots. Y'all are scared of socialism. Y'all are the idiots. Y'all are scared of Jesus. Y'all are the biggest idiots in the world. Demetrius says, we pray to Trump every hour. He's truly king. Yeah, you pray to Trump. You pray to the Antichrist. That's what makes you a Trump boutonniere. That's what makes you all the bad things. Terrorist, pedophile, traitor. Warren Graham, bro, what, Demetrius, just don't worry about the trolls. I've told y'all before, don't worry about the trolls. We'll take care of the trolls as needed. All right. Thank y'all for being here. Hold on. We gotta replace the pin message. I mean, come on. That's like you just called me Cat Abagazali right there. You're still sick. That's why we want free healthcare. Free healthcare means nobody pays the insurance companies because they don't exist. Free healthcare means nobody pays the medical bills because the government pays it. We tax the rich people to pay it. Biff bam boom. Done, done, done. Make me a sandwich. Make me a cake. Okay, so we're done here. We solved everything. We figured it out. Shut down. Over. But so is the healthcare industry, healthcare insurance industry, because we're going to have universal healthcare. I mean, everybody's healthcare is paid for. Y'all ready for that? Carissa says, y'all have a beautiful, blessed night. I'll catch you on another live, Euless. Okay, Carissa, you have to go. I'm not necessarily shutting it down now. Just nobody was really saying anything, so I was ready to shut it down unless y'all want to talk some more. I was just kind of doing a short one because of the shutdown ending, and I don't want people to come across like they care more about their healthcare premiums than other people's food. So just be careful what you say. You don't really sound like you're in touch with the people if you're whining about the shutdown ending when people need to eat. Like, let's let people eat. We already proved that Trump wants to starve people. We already proved that the Supreme Court will vote to help Trump starve people. We don't have to let him starve people. Let's let everybody eat. And so we'll have a lot of energy for voting and otherwise overthrowing this evil system. So we elect Jasmine Crockett or AOC. All she's got to do is say, I'm going to pay your health care bills. Send them to the White House. And I think it's really clever. Send the bills to the White House. Send me to the White House. I'll take care of them for you. Okay, Zeno says, there isn't a starvation problem in America. Except there is. I mean, it's not as bad as Gaza. It's not as bad as Sudan. I'm not like trying to say that we're the worst starving people in America, but we got starving people in America. So let's not have that. When we brag about being the richest country, like let's not have starving people here. And the first way to do that is to overthrow Trump. There's an obesity problem. That's because of the quality of food people eat and what people can afford, not because of and where people can get food. Is what the obesity problem comes from the producers of food. Like I think a tobacco company, Philip Morris or something, bought our food companies, and so they're poisoning us. I mean, y'all like that RFK shit, don't you? But seriously, now that actually did happen. Like, it's not some RFK shit that they're lying about. Yeah, they're poisoning you with the food, and they're making people super fat. Whatever. There isn't anyone starving to death here. Yeah, there's people starving to death in America. You don't care about them, but that's what's happening. Everything free, dumbass. Complain about it, whine about it. Who do you think your dumbass? I remember when we used to be able to charge people for so much stuff that people starved and died. Who's gonna care about you, old man? Who's gonna care about that boomer attitude? But you're so happy that you used to be able to starve people because everything was too expensive. Nobody's gonna want to hear that shit. Okay, what are the rest of the questions? You're still sick. There isn't anyone starving to death here. You're not even here. Zeno, you don't even live in America. What are you talking about? You can tell you're one of those trolls that just pretends. You joined 14 years ago when you got 0 subscribers. Are you kidding? Did you see what these people on Snap buy? Dude, why are you paying attention to what other people buy in groceries? What kind of weirdo spy are you? What kind of weirdo, like, judgmental freak are you that you care about that? I'm not even talking about like you're looking at people's carts in the grocery store, just even looking at people's videos about that or looking at people's content about that. What the fuck does that make you? You're the fucking grocery store gatekeeper. You're the grocery store gatekeeper. Say, oh, look at what they bought. Look at what they like to eat. That sounds racist as fuck too. Come to think of it, now I think about how that would come. Oh, you have hummus. Like you're like some type of Nazi. I mean, well, we know you're a Nazi. You're a Trumper. They all are. Anyway, I'm gonna be done with y'all. We don't have any. Carissa was like the only good person here, and she left. Spunk. Spunk might be good. I don't know. They're new. Deftones should be good with a name like that. You would think. Oh no, they're a Nazi. Oh, Warren Graham's still here. Sorry, Warren Graham. Thanks for still being here. Warren Graham's a good person, but the rest of you guys are all Nazi Trump-boutonnieres, except for maybe Spunk. Let me catch up on Spunk. There isn't a starvation problem, still sick. So I'm kidding. There's no see what these people snap by. Oreos, Doritos, frozen pizza. Why are you such a hater? Are you mad at Oreos advertisements for advertising Oreos? Or are you mad at people for buying the Oreos because they're delicious? You know, like, why are you mad at cookies? Like, think about who you are, what you're coming across as some type of weird xeno Nazi. Spunk says, obesity comes from not putting the fork down. Calories in, calories out, diet and exercise. No, it also comes from the being fed these hyper whatever foods. I don't know why I'm arguing with Nazis though. If there doesn't become like a non-Nazi, a non-MAGA in comments, like real quick, we're definitely shutting down the live because this is a waste of everyone's time. It's good that the shutdown's over because people are going to eat. Don't come across like you care more about your premiums than other people's food. And who cares about your premiums anyway? We need socialized health care. We need universal health care. We need a candidate who says they're going to bring it so you can stop paying your premiums. You can stop paying your medical bills. You can send them to the White House and you can send Jasmine Crockett or AOC to the White House to pay them. Biff bam boom. Concepts of a plan that actually become a healthcare system. I just gave it to you. Y'all might be scared of it and idiots. Your comments help the content get out to people who might care. Nobody's starving to death in America, says Swank. Just another Nazi pedophile. Devilcrat's gonna demoncrat, says Deftones, the Nazi pedophile, traitor, terrorist. You guys realize that I do this in order to trap Nazi pedophile terrorist traitors like yourselves. So we know that Zeno's channel activity is he joined, it's spelled Zenoxeno, altogether with a capital Z, capital X, joined 14 years ago, has 0 subscribers. Spunk's channel activity joined 17 years ago, has 345 subscribers, capital S. X Deftones X, all lowercase, channel activity is joined 19 years ago and has 53 subscribers. So his channel's as old as mine with about 1% of the content or audience. Demetrius Antoine is here. He LARPs as a black person from Texas. Is that right? Is that what you LARP as, Demetrius? The devil is a Democrat. Deftones, they need to get rid of SNP altogether. See, I know you're a Nazi. You want to genocide people because you're a Nazi. That's on brand for your armband. That's why you do your Roman salute. That's why everyone hates you. It's why your family hates you. Your ancestors hate you. Everybody in the country and everybody in the world hates you. Trump-Hooteneers. Gregory Nichols says, seek help again. You're still sick. Spunk says, why are you paying attention to what your tax dollars go to? Your tax dollars could go to universal health care. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, Demetrius Anton, you're racist. Why would you LARP as a black person if not to be racist? It's what you do, isn't it? As a black man, I will say racist trope number 4. Akira Bay says, you're right 100%. Thank you, Akira Bay. So nice to meet you. I'm Puffin. Check out my channel. Welcome to comment on all my stuff. And thanks for being here. If you're a TikTok refugee, welcome. We're going to save TikTok too. We got to save TikTok from becoming Trump Talk. We also got to save Net and YouTube and make it YouTube again, which we can do by seizing Google and Lockheed Martin and Meta and all the other countries donating to Trump's terrorist attack on the White House and arresting their executives. So now you know what you're here for. It's called get a job, then you can eat, says Douglas. Well, actually, fuck you. You know, it's called we should take your house for making that comment. That's what it's called. Dumbass. Douglas with 2 S's. Douglass. Doug Glass. Channel activity, joined a year ago, has 0 subscribers. When I have less to do, I go through your old comments and report them for the Nazi hunters of the future. Because hunting Nazis to the end of their lives is a noble profession. And I catch a dozen a day in here. That's right. You Trump-Hooteneer Nazi terrorist pedophiles, we're not going to forget that shit. We know what you are. We're calling you out for it, and we're coming for you eventually. So enjoy it while you can, but you might want to consider repenting and changing what you are. Demetrius says, I'm the good person. No, you're a Nazi Trump-Hooteneer pedophile. You're just like the other Nazi Trump-Hooteneer pedophiles. Some of you admit you're Nazis, some of you don't. But you're all exactly the same other than that. We're all Trump. Yeah, I know. That's what Net and YouTube picks for the live. Occasionally I get a human in here. Mostly it's Trump-Hooteneers. I'm Latino, not a Nazi. No, you're a Nazi. You're a goddamn Nazi, just like Netanyahu's a goddamn Nazi, even though he should know better as a Jewish person. But he's a goddamn Nazi, and so are you. I don't care how Latino you are. You're just a traitor to the Latino people as well, as being a traitor to America, a traitor to Jesus, a traitor to humanity, a traitor to the fucking earth. All you Nazi pieces of shit are. Spunk says, I've been called a libtard and a Nazi today. No, dude, you're just actually a MAGA Nazi. If you're MAGA, you're a Nazi. Like, get the fuck over it. Meaning, stop being one. Don't get over being called that. Get over being one. So when people, you can be one of the people calling people Nazis instead of being one of the people getting called a Nazi all the time and knowing that it's true. Deftone says, but nice try though. Gregory Nichols says, you're crazy, Euless. Deftone says, they don't have an extensive vocabulary. Demetrius says, Euless is on Tylenol. Deftone says, please do so. Spunk says, don't eat these whatever hyperfoods. Don't eat those. Yeah, you do. Everybody eats these, like, I forget what they're called. Does that matter? I care about my son who has cancer. Nobody else does. Like, son of a Nazi, son of a pedo, probably be better off without you, right? Fucking piece of shit. Stop trying to get sympathy. I'm not a Nazi sympathizer. I'm not a Trump-Hooteneer sympathizer. I'm not going to sympathize with you motherfuckers. Y'all deserve consequences for the shit you do. I see this starts with your houses and sometimes your families need to be removed. Y'all been kidnapping other people's kids, so maybe your cancer kid needs to have a better home with an immigrant. Fucking Nazi Trump-Hooteneer piece of shit. Go ahead, you're lost. You haven't trapped me yet. Dude, you got trapped in this live, didn't you? You've left plenty of comments, Demetrius Antoine. You're easy to track. Where do you claim to be from? Fort Worth? Calling people Nazis who aren't. Dude, if you don't want to be a Nazi, don't be a Nazi. But you admit you're a MAGA? You admit you're a Trump-Hooteneer? Well, you won't call it a Trump-Hooteneer because you don't realize you've betrayed America for Putin. But you'll admit you're a Trumper? Dude, you're a fucking Nazi. Everybody else knows it. Your ancestors know it. Your grandparents who fought the goddamn original Nazis know it. That you became one. You betrayed them. That's why you're here now, so you can hear this shit and wake the fuck up. Your ancestors sent me. Gregory Nichols says, everything is free. Send your bills to the White House. Yeah, send your medical bills to the White House. Universal health care. If you can't prove it, you're blameless. No, I proved it. You support Trump. You're a Nazi. Everybody's going to know that. That's just the truth. Zena says, Deftones, the only thing this guy is good for is insulting people. He has no actual basis for what he's saying. No, I know that you're Trump supporters. That makes you a Nazi. Everybody knows that. Everybody outside of your little silo of Nazism, your little terrorist cell, everybody fucking knows that. And everybody hates you motherfuckers. You might have family that confirm you being Nazis and act like it's a fine thing, but everybody else hates you motherfuckers for your concentration camps, your kidnappings, and you're trying to starve us. We all rightfully hate you motherfuckers. Hold on, I gotta put a little bit more on before I can put this highlight out there. For real, he's fun to troll though. That's all you can do is troll because you're all Nazi terrorist pieces of shit. Demetrius Antoine says, everyone loves me. Jesus loves me. No, your Antichrist Jesus hates you because he hates everything. The real Jesus don't know you and don't want to until you get out of your fucking Nazi Trump-Hooteneer Antichrist bullshit. In fact, the Jesus that I know, the real Jesus, hates Trump and Trumpism and all the Trump-Hooteneers. So stop being one to get the love of Jesus. Otherwise, you're pretty much outside of love itself. This is your job, lazy slob. No, my tax dollars need to come to me. He's unemployed. Your tax dollars need to come. Why even pay taxes if you need them back? He's unemployed, LOL, which is why he does this. You're still sick. Seek help again. No, my tax dollars need to come to me. Reporting does nothing. Reporting does nothing. Reporting does nothing. They still haven't caught me yet. LOL. He doesn't have very extensive vocabulary. Haha. What the fuck? Clip it. What do you think of Eddington? What the hell's Eddington? Sorry, Pencil Quest. I didn't mean to read your comment in Russian. Pencil Quest says, what do you think of Eddington? You got to tell me what Eddington is. I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. Criminal Weasel. Slava Ukraine. All right, Criminal Weasel. Yeah, thank you for saving Gaza and Ukraine and USA from Trump and Putin and Netanyahu. We got one common enemy. Not just those three countries, the entire world has one common enemy. Trump, Putin, and Netanyahu and these little fucking Trump Putineer minions we track down from the comments. And plenty that we know who they are and don't even deserve trials. Okay. Slava Ukraine. Thank you, Criminal Weasel. Gregor Nichols says, Trump is the king of the world. Defton says, no, you're blameless. You prove nada. The message was held for review from Land of the Blinded too. This thought knows weird word Nazi, haha. Yeah, I know what the word Nazi is. It means Trump Putineers. Y'all are the same thing. We all know it. Plenty of centrist Democrats and media types cover for y'all motherfuckers, but we all know it. Nope, wrong again, Gregor Nichols. Trump mega strong. Ninja Jack says, King Trump forever. Deftones. Oh, let's get Ninja Jack's profile information. Channel activity for Ninja Jack. Joined 4 years ago, 3 subscribers. Deftones says, he keeps repeating yourself. Land of the Blinded says 6 million. See, he's like bragging about being a Nazi. You see, and you guys are all on the side with the Nazis. You see how that works? Deftones says, keep it up. Yeah. Keep it going, guys. We'll make him better. Silverwolf says, excuse me. Yes, Silverwolf? Nice to meet you. I go by Puffin. Welcome to the Fairy Liberation Front, the Church of Judas, the Peace Pipe Party, the Pillow Revolution. We're overthrowing Trump here. You came to the right place. Jesus is the anti-king leader of no kings, and we defeat the Antichrist Trump and his Trump Putineer minions. So thanks for being here. Excuse you. What is it? Demetrius Antron says, Trump, Land of the Blinded says, Jesus is the fairy tale for sheeple. Douglas said, your fake Jesus is. Yeah, your fake Antichrist Trump Jesus is not even a fairy tale. That's giving it too much credit. It's a fucking lie. It's a fucking evil lie. Dimitri says, United States of Trump. Douglas says, you open your M. Dimitri says, one? Question mark. So stupid. Silverwolf says, I don't understand. Didn't you say, excuse me, Silverwolf? What were you trying to understand? What's your question about? Gregory Nichols says, Trump is the king, peace, warrior of the world, which is a lie. Trump is the Antichrist. Trump saved the world. No, Trump's destroying the world. You're helping him. He destroyed half of our White House. You helped him. Warren Graham says, Demetrius Anton needs to be canceled, low-key. I can mute him. He's going to put, I'll just stop reading his comments. He can keep making them, but I'll stop reading them. He put an Israel American flag and a crown. So he's a genocider. He's a not Zionist. Not Zionist. Not Zionist. Not Zionby. A Zionby. He's a not Zionist. He's a not Zionist. Trump will make the world great again. No, Trump's making it terrible. Trump's willing to starve us. You're trying to help Trump starve us. That's not going to go down well in the future. Christopher Van Week, WYK, says, LOL, go work on yourself, bud. Stop hating Trump for you being a worthless human. No, everybody hates Trump for him being a worthless whatever the fuck he is. So is Demetrius a predator? Yeah, they're all predators. Like, this is really simple math, okay? Trump's a predator. Trump's a child molester. Trump's a rapist. Trump's a pedophile. Trump is those things. They all protect Trump. They're all those things. Okay? You see how that works? So yeah, pretty much Warren Graham, besides you, everybody in the live is a predator. Everybody in the chat is a predator. Yeah, they all are. And look at them, they're MAGA. They're proud about being MAGA. That makes them bragging about being child predators. Like, everybody knows that now. Like, they can pretend that this and that and the other. No, they called Mike Johnson out on the congressional floor saying, Mike Johnson protects child predators. What Mike Johnson is doing is protecting child molesters. Thank you. Sus Harnt G said, fuck Trump. So I'm going to go over everything again because we got an American in here who said, fuck Trump. Okay? They ended the shutdown. That's good. People get their food stamp benefits. And we've shown that Trump is ready to starve us, that Trump wants to starve us, and that the Supreme Court wants to starve us. They're traitors. We have the evidence against Trump and his appointees on the Supreme Court to remove them for treason, and Alito and Thomas and Roberts. We remove all them for treason, right? We remove Trump for treason, right? We caught them. We caught them being willing to starve us in order to cancel our health insurance. I don't even have health insurance. It's not my health insurance. So do not come across like you care more about your premiums than other people's pantries. Do not come across like you're mad that they gave people the food stamps back. We definitely should be glad they gave the food stamps back to people. And we need to eat and cancel the insurance industry so it doesn't matter what the premiums are and have universal health care. Now you're up to date. Oh, one more thing. Jasmine Crockett or AOC can say that. Stop paying your insurance, send your medical bills to the White House, and send me to the White House, and I'll take care of them. Universal health care. Done, done, done. Concepts of a plan that become a plan. All right, let's read the rest of your comments and then turn this off. Fuck Trump. One of the best comments in the live. Can I pin that comment? Replace pin message. There we go. Demetrius says, Israel is king too. Well, we know you think that, and watch that king get overthrown by Jesus and us. Gregory Nichols says, mega strong. Demetrius Antoine says, Israel is king and USA is king. You're both co-kings. You're co-kings. You're KKK kings. When you was KKK kings, you weren't no damn kings. You're slaves to the goddamn Putin. You're slaves to the goddamn devil. That's why Jesus is going to defeat you. And we're going to help. Ha ha, fuck you. That's what's so great about it. Okay, we're done with the live then, right? Everybody's up to date. Thanks for being here. Lily's back. Thanks for the hearts. Gregory Nichols says, he's seeing a shrink. Does this at night. Twisted. Zachary Randall decided to bust in with Get the Job Weirdo. Joined 14 years ago and has 2 subscribers. Zachary Randall, you shouldn't comment here. Save yourself. Demetrius sends one, says, hail Trump. All hail Trump with his Roman salute. Demetrius Entron is Roman saluting Trump. Hail Trump, hail. Heil Trump. No, he did say Heil Trump. He didn't say hail Trump. He said Heil Trump. You just keep edging into admitting that you know you're Nazis, don't you? You just keep edging into admitting that you know you're Nazis. We know you're Nazis, but you just edge into admitting that you know you're Nazis too. Heil Trump. Warren Graham says, no thanks, Demetrius. Exactly. Fuck Trump. Fuck all his little Trump-Putin traitor, minion, pedophile, terrorists. Lily says, back. Welcome back, Lily. Demetrius Antoine says, hail Trump. Heil Trump. He says, Heil Trump, because he's Roman saluting him. He's armband. He's on brand with the armband. He's a fucking Nazi. Lily, be careful how many K's you put in any word, any time. You don't want to look like a Trump Putineer because people might hunt you down for it and take your house and take your family. Susan G said, fuck Trump. Yep, that's right. Double fuck Trump. Gregory Nichols says, you and the swamp are terrified. What swamp? You guys are the swamp. Heil Trump, says Demetrius Antoine. He keeps saying Heil Trump, the Nazi thing. He keeps saying the Nazi thing Trump. So we know Demetrius knows he's a Nazi. I've warned him that he's been spelling it Heil Trump, the way the Nazis heiled Hitler. And Demetrius just rolling with it, just bragging along that he's a Nazi. Gregory Nichols says, you're scared. Do I look scared? Do I sound scared? I think you're fucking projecting because you're a fucking MAGA piece of trash. And you know people that the penalty for treason is execution. And a lot of y'all motherfuckers don't deserve trials. Make America greater, Trump. Zachary Randall says, so cause I don't post videos to this account, you don't want me talking? No, I don't want you talking because you're a goddamn Nazi. I don't want Nazis ever saying anything a goddamn again because I don't want there to be any Nazis. Y'all can stop being Nazis anytime you want. But we know what you are. You're Nazis, you're pedophiles, you're traitors, you're terrorists. Jared Moore says, what do you think about the Green Party? I think that's a pleasant question, Jared Moore. I like Cornel West. I voted for Jill Stein. I don't know. What do you want? What do you want for the Green Party? Absurd Hero says, you seem like a mentally stable... Oh, wait, hold on. Thank you. Absurd Hero, I should not read in Russian because assuming that this comment is in good faith, Absurd Hero is saying, you seem like a mentally stable person to take advice from and not a crackhead. Thank you. So I'm glad you don't listen to Mike Lindell, who wrote the book. His biography is titled From Crackhead to CEO. Okay, Mike Lindell put it in the title of his book, Crackhead. Zachary Randall says, my words don't matter because I'm not using my video account, LOL. Back to my point, get the fucking job. No, your words don't matter because you're a Nazi. Okay? Y'all's words never matter. Nothing about you ever matters other than you're a cautionary example for things not to be. Your ancestors just are disappointed in you. That's pretty much it. NinjaCon, fuck you. You know what? It's time to time out some stupid fucks. NinjaCon's one of them. All right, who we got? Trump, mega strong, watching from Maine. Okay, Moon Clive says watching from Maine, USA. Okay, so if you're in USA, you can surely appreciate how it's a good thing we stopped the shutdown so that people can eat. We got the food stamps going again. We proved that Trump wanted to starve people. We proved that the Supreme Court wanted to starve people. That's enough evidence to remove them for treason. Okay? Then we can cancel the fucking insurance industry when they jack up the premiums because we need universal health care anyway. Are you up to date? Want to give it a like, or you can comment on any of these things when you see these same content on my channel. Gregory Nichols says, Trump is king of the world. Absurd Hero says, I was being sarcastic. You're a moron. Goodbye, idiot. Never come back, Absurd Hero. Thank you for the, but Absurd Hero's channel activities, in case the Nazi hunters ever want to hunt him, is he joined 7 years ago and he has 3 subscribers. Oh yeah, NinjaCon's talking about, I posted my priest personal email. You going to sack up and send an email? What do you mean sack up to send an email? What the fuck does that, what the incel does that even mean? You incel libertarian fucking Trump-ootineer. I think Trump-ootineer is the worst insult you can say to anybody because they're Nazis and pedophiles. So Jared Moore says, systems fix prosperity, government run by people. That's an interesting phrase. Your little book that didn't sell means nothing. You just call people Nazis you don't agree with? No, I call Nazis Nazis. You should know you're a Nazi by now. Go ahead, email my priest. Sue's Heart G says, these people deserve Trump. They will cry in poverty due to Trump. They will cry like hell. You got to pin your next comment, Susan. You always have the best comments here. Demetrius says, Heil Trump, like Heil Hitler, because he's admitting he knows he's a Nazi. The rest of you agree with Demetrius on everything. So are you admitting that you know you're Nazis too? Because Demetrius admits that he knows he's a Nazi. And he's denied it before too. So you sound exactly like Demetrius, who's previously denied knowing that he's a Nazi, but he knows he is. NinjaCon says, Andrew, I called your bluff. Reach out to my priest and see what happens. Dude, I'll email your priest when I see whatever comment on my video I assume you left his email address on. Shut the fuck up, dude. You're so pointless. You're such a weirdo. You're such a weird sexual harassing Trump-ootineer weirdo. Serpa Matheson says, hi, cutie. Hello. Demetrius says, Trump is king. Suzart G says, he will be poor, homeless in some years. Trump won't be around for more years. And he won't be our president even probably for the end of this year. If not, he definitely won't be by the end of next year. Zachary Randall says, I'm making more money than I ever had in my life in the last 2 years, so definitely not in poverty. Oh, so thanks Joe Biden. So you're thanking Joe Biden because he made a bunch of money 2 years ago when Joe Biden was president? So Zachary Randall really loves Joe Biden, if you guys want to know. Zachary Randall's a big fan of Joe Biden. Anyway, we can shut this down now. Jesus set Judas aside to replace all patriarchy, Christianity, war, and Trumpism. So check out the hashtag Church of Judas for replacing all their churches, meaning NinjaCon, Syrian Orthodox Church. Hey, why don't you ask your priest about the Church of Judas, NinjaCon, and how it's going to replace all patriarchy, Christianity, war, and Trumpism. That means that what happens in the future once Judas takes over all Christianity is there's no more Trumpism, and there's no more war, and there's no more patriarchy, and there's no more what you call Christianity. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, I can shut it down now. There's no good people left in here. Zachary Reynolds says, see you in hell. I'll save you a seat. He must be talking to the other Trump-ootineers in chat. Gregory Nichols says, Trump, in America first. And Demetrius Anton says, we will make every nation bow down to King Trump. No, you won't. You won't do that at all. That's some shit that the fake Antichrist Jesus would talk shit about, and that's why they did all the crusades and all this empires and shit. But y'all were motherfucking wrong. And Jesus had a plan to undo that. That's the Gospel of Judas and the Church of Judas. You're welcome. Check out the Church of Judas to replace all their churches. All right. Demetrius is still yelling Heil Trump like a full-fledged Nazi. And you guys don't have anything to say about that. So you're Nazis too. I've been calling him out for being a Nazi. I've been saying that motherfucker's a Nazi. But you motherfuckers are like, oh, he's our best friend. So you're Nazis too. I told you, you don't hang around this live if you don't want to be shown out to be a fucking Nazi. If you don't want Nazi hunters to come knocking at your fucking door in a few months or years, don't hang out in this live. Best Christmas gift surprise says, is Lucifer real? Maybe? I don't know. What's your next question? What's your next question? I'll answer your question if you have a follow-up. Navi. Hi, Navi. Says, someone get this man an unregistered firearm. That's okay. I don't need that type of stuff. Thank you, though. Gregory Nichols says, chicken skipping comments. Dude, your comments never mattered. Oh, you said communist. Wow, you should be so proud. Zachary Randall says, come knock on my door. I'll answer naked with cookies. Well, that's a good reason not to knock on your door, isn't it? I guess maybe if you're talking to the other Trump Putineers in chat, I encourage you to go knock on Zachary Randall's door. He will open the door naked with cookies, and you'll realize what your sexuality is, and you'll stop bothering the rest of us with this bullshit. Okay. NinjaCon says, I've given you tons and tons of chances to either meet me or send someone to meet me, and you duck every time. He's this tough guy. He's just like, tough guy, this internet tough guy. Best Christmas gift surprise 3000X said, are you happy to what happened? Are you happy to what happened to Charlie Kirk? I love it when you guys write in such a way that I can use my Russian accent and it sounds extra Russian because you obviously don't understand English. I know you might not speak Russian, but still, that sounds fantastic. Are you happy to what happened to Charlie Kirk? Are you happy to what happened to Charlie Kirk? Charlie Kirk's all in capitals, so it's actually like, are you happy to what happened to Charlie Kirk? Are you asking if I'm happy for JD Vance that he found the most couch-like human being on the planet? Are you asking if I'm happy that JD Vance found the most couch-like human being on the planet, and his team removed an impediment to him being with the most couch-like human being on the planet, and now he gets to be with the most couch-like human being on the planet? I mean, if that's all it was, if there wasn't other things about these people, if the only thing about JD Vance is he loved fucking couches, and the only thing about Widow Kirk is she is the most couch-like human, and they got together, that would be like a great story or something. It'd be like a love story. It'd be great. But that's not all they are. They're Nazis. They're pedophiles. They're terrorists. They're traitors. So it's kind of hard to be happy for them. But if it was just a couch-loving piece of shit and a couch lady, like a human version of a couch, then it would be great. Zachary says, I'm talking to you, LOL, saying Nazi hunters will come to my house. Yeah. What are you going to do? Maybe you should stop being a Nazi. Maybe you can help the Nazi hunters track down the people you used to hang out with, and you actually be one of the good guys. So what does Demetrius Antoine say? Gays, Muslims, and the Jews. So it probably deleted this first word, which I'm just going to guess was probably kill. So like, he's a Nazi. You guys are all Nazis because you're not calling out the very obvious Nazi in the chat, saying Heil Trump. And he's making you all look like Nazis. And you all don't have a real problem with that. You act like you have a problem when I call you a Nazi because I'm a liberal, and so you have to argue with me. But you don't have a problem when one of your guys brags about being a Nazi right in front of your face. Makes you Nazis. Bye, fucking dumbass. But instead of saying bye, fucking dumbass, you could have said, hey, yeah, that's right. You're being a Nazi. You should stop being a Nazi. You're making us look bad because you're being such a goddamn Nazi. But you didn't do that because you're fucking Nazis. Caught you all again. Thoughts about the government shutdown, says Best Christmas Present. If you've been listening, that's all this live was supposed to be about before the trolls made it all about the fact that they're Nazis and they're advertising being Nazis on net and YouTube, the Nazi platform that allows Nazis to be Nazis and never deletes their channels when they make hundreds of Nazi comments all the goddamn time. Yeah, the government shutdown. It's more important people eat than your fucking premiums. That's what the government shutdown being over ultimately amounts to. So don't look like a dumbass who doesn't care about people getting food. Demetrius Antoine says, Heil Trump again, like he would say Heil Hitler because he's a goddamn Nazi. Zachary Randall says, hey, he's making you look like an irrational moron by engaging him. I mean, I don't know. Doesn't that make you look like an irrational moron by engaging me by your own fucking stupid math? Gregory Nichols says, Trump is king, peace, warrior of the world. Demetrius again says, Heil Trump. Is anybody else going to call out Demetrius for saying obviously Nazi things? Anybody? You guys are all fine with it, huh? You guys are all fine with him being a very obvious Nazi. Lloyd Oxendine says, DM shut it down. Demetrius Anson says, NHH. Okay, we can shut down the live because we've only got Nazis in here now. There's nobody good. 13 complete Nazis. So when the Nazi hunters come to look, they will find that everybody who was in the live at this time deserves to be hunted down as a Nazi and a pedophile and a terrorist and a traitor. So thanks, Nazi hunters of the future. Dalton Watson got in right at the end and says, Dimitri, love the trolling. So he's very proud of the guy who's very proud of being a Nazi. And Dalton Watson joined 10 years ago and has 7 subscribers. And Zachary Randall says, enjoy your heart attack. Lloyd Oxendine says, come to Indian country. Are you in Indian country, Lloyd Oxendine? Dalton Will says, you're getting trolled. No, dude, I'm trapping Nazis. I'm trapping Trump-Utineer Nazis such as yourself, bragging about people bragging about being Nazis. Oh, there we go. Fuck Trump. Jeanette Igo, thanks for showing up. We'll pin your comment. Thanks, Jeanette Igo. Sorry about the Nazis. Everybody else in comments right now is a Nazi because none of them will call out the Nazi who's saying obviously Nazi things. And that's the definition of a Nazi. Dude, Demetrius Antoine, who just said Heil Trump, not Hail Trump. He said Heil Trump 40 fucking times. And no, I'm not a Nazi. Dude, everybody knows. You made it really fucking obvious. And they all are too, because it was so obvious to all of them and I was constantly talking about it. And none of them spoke up against you being a Nazi and making Trumpers look like Nazis. So you're all fucking Nazis. Yeah, they're sick. Thank you, Jonah. I'm not here to cure them. Jesus can do that. Jesus can move them from the Antichrist Trump to the real Jesus. I don't give a fuck what happens to them. I'll engage them so they'll keep commenting so we can come across a real person like you. So thanks, Jeanette. I don't need to talk to them anymore. Jeanette is here. So Jeanette, I'll go over everything once more for you. Ending the shutdown, really good because at least we're giving food to people. It's a bad look to say that you don't want the shutdown ended because at least we're giving food to people and we showed that Trump doesn't want to. We proved that Trump and the Supreme Court are willing to starve us. So we caught them. Okay, now we need to spring the trap. The other thing they're going to do is jack up the premiums. Let's cancel insurance. Let's say, okay, nobody pay premiums. Nobody pay insurance. Send all your medical bills to the White House and send Jasmine Crockett or AOC to the White House to pay those bills via universal health care. Voila. Like we win this and we win this big with some good ideas. So thank you for being here. Thanks for hearing those good ideas. Lloyd Oxendine says 103 Malloy Street. Come on over. What city are we talking about, Lloyd Oxendine? Demetrius says Jeanette the Jew. So he's probably promoting some more anti-Semitic Nazi Klan stuff. And you guys are all fine with it, which makes you also Nazi Klan people. Okay, reporting terrorism. Hail Trump. Will I just did. What did you just do? The real Diaz is, why would you not hate Israel? They don't do anything for us. Y'all can argue that out between the Trump-Utineers and the Groypers, between the not Zionist Trump-Utineers and the Groyper Trump-Utineers. You're all pretty much the same. If you know how to fix it, then why not speak at your city council or state capitol? How did you think I didn't do that? I'm speaking to everybody. I'm on YouTube. Anyway, we're shutting down the live though because we've gone over time and we only met like one human. We just a whole bunch of fucking Nazi pedophile traitor Trump-Utineers in here. But at least we caught all of y'all so the Nazi hunters can track you guys down. See, there's the real deal saying Nick Fuentes is awesome. Go watch him, guys. No, he's a groiper. You're a groiper. These other ones are probably groipers too. They probably are already in your terrorist cell.